I was doing things illegal, so it was like I was an easy, catch.
Easy target, yeah.
So easy target. So yeah, it got hot, moved to Dallas, still doing the same thing. Finally, Dallas, started being like, who is this dude, rolling around with all this shit, flying, speeding, 4 a.m., like, what the fuck's he doing, So they started looking into me, and then they caught me with some steroids and some cash in my car. I think I had like $30K. I was driving a Cadillac Escalade truck, and I had $30,000 in the back. They had like little compartments that lift up, that lock. I had $30,000 in one side, and I had like 10 balls of steroids in the other, because I was actually going to loan one of my friends money so he could buy like some pounds of weed.
And you can't afford to just give out all that sauce for free. Like at that point, like the money that you're making per hour, when you break it down, like you start to really lose a lot of money by helping all these people for free.
And I was just like, it was December 2023. I told my girl, I was like, man, I'm gonna have a mastermind, because these masterminds are like popping up. I was like, I want to host one, because I knew the demand was there, because people kept asking me like, what the fuck do you do? How do you do it? You were just in prison. I'm your old, I watched your whole journey. Like, what the fuck? So I told my girl, I was like, man, let's host a mastermind. I want to host one and just, figure out, I want to teach all these people that are asking me. I told her if I sold 10 tickets, it'd be a success. Sure enough, I didn't even know how to make a Stripe listing. I went to breakfast with one of my buddies, like, dude, how do I put this Stripe link on my Instagram story? And he was like, you just do it like this. I paid for his breakfast. I was like, all right, cool, thanks. I posted it. I sold like 40 tickets, like the same day for $1,500, right? That's like $60K I just made.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you're from, but $60K to me is a lot of money. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's like, fuck.
Let's go. I'm super excited to get this episode started. I've been asking Eric a bunch of questions prior to even getting started, which sucks. But I'm going to pull it all back out of him. So we have Eric Crutchfield. That's Eric Epic 23 on Instagram. Built an empire from the ground up. Eric Crutchfield spent over 7 years incarcerated, then came out, and in under a decade built more than 90 rental properties, launched a multi-million-dollar custom home business in Dallas and Miami, and now mentors others to hit 6- and 7-figure incomes in the real estate space. He's not about theories. He's lived it. Let's dig into how you flipped the narrative, bro.
Let's do it, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Dude, super awesome that you were easy to access. Some guys, you know what I mean? Whether they're crushing it or crushing it on social media, it's like hard as hell to get a hold of them. But yeah, you're pretty easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, I'm in my DMs. I stay in my DMs. I like to work, man. I like
the money's the money's in the DMs. It's in social media, and obviously you probably, I don't know what percentage of bullshit you get. I would imagine
a lot.
Yeah, it's probably 80, 90. Especially like the more you present yourself with success, everybody's got something for you. Wants to get something out you.
Always trying to sell something.
Always trying to sell something. Yeah, my sales tactic is pretty, I'm going to be direct and straightforward. Here's what I got. If you don't like it, I'll keep it pushing.
Exactly. That's what they need.
That's worked good for me, because I got into selling life insurance at 18 years old and like trying to convince someone to invest their money into me. I didn't know what to do. The script wasn't working. None of that was working. I just had to like cut out the bullshit and say, here's what it is. If you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
And that's worked. Dude, I want to talk about you though. So born and raised Oklahoma.
Yep. Born and raised Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. So kind of a country boy, urban.
My whole family lives kind of in the outskirts of Tulsa. Tulsa is I think it's the second largest city in Oklahoma.
Okay.
My whole family lives in a little town called Claremore. So it is a lot more country.
Yeah.
All my cousins, uncles were hunters and fishermen. That's kind of what we did. And then I sort of grew up more in Tulsa, which is more city.
Okay.
And so I was more of a city boy. And yeah, I was drawn more to the city life. So then I lived in Tulsa until I was about 19 years old, and then I moved to Dallas, which was the closest, biggest city. And I just drove down there, 4-hour drive, and got me an apartment.
So listen, let's take it a step back. What was growing up for you like? Were you closer to mom, dad? What were they doing?
I lived with my mom. I saw my dad every other weekend. They got divorced when I was about 2 years old.
Okay.
So kind of rocky. My mom hated my dad. My dad cheated on my mom. So they didn't like each other. So it was always like a weird dynamic there whenever I was getting dropped off every other weekend. They didn't want to see each other. And like, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of it. And then my mom got remarried. And growing up, it's pretty middle class. I lived in like an $80,000 home, just middle class, public schools. And yeah, everything was going fine. And then I would say about 13 years old, my mom was going through another rough patch, and then she got another divorce.
Wow.
And at that point, you know, I think I started to rebel a little bit. And so that's when I just was like hanging out with friends. I rarely would be home because, you know, there's just a lot of strife going on at the home. You could feel the tension and all the stuff, right? So then they got a divorce, and then I went and lived with my mom. We got an apartment. She was working 2 jobs to take care of me. And my sister, and I think my sister at that time went off. She's 5 years older than me, so she went off to college. So yeah, 13. She would have been like 18. So yeah, she went off to college. So it was basically me and my mom in this apartment. She was working the 2 jobs to take care of me. And then she's starting to date new guys, and like I think I was looking for attention and stuff like that. And that's when I just went into rebellion even further, and I was just, you know, doing whatever, hanging out with friends, started drinking, started doing stupid shit. And yeah, not really caring too much about school, getting suspended from school, you know, getting expelled, got kicked out of the house, went to live with my dad. Yeah, it was wild. So that's kind of how all that happened. Never really was big into drugs, but we were big into alcohol at that point. In Oklahoma, it's kind of, you know, we'd throw land parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was out stealing kegs, you know. When I turned 16, I'd be like stealing kegs and hiding them in my backyard so we could throw these huge land parties on the land that we would just like break the gates open and just tell everybody, hey, let's come to my land party.
Yeah, just like 4-wheelers and dirt bikes.
So yeah, that's kind of where all that started. And then I started hanging out with the wrong dudes and started selling steroids, selling drugs, and yeah, man, I tried to go to college because, you know, the whole family's like, you got to go to college, you know, you graduate high school, you got to go do something. I'm like, all right, so I went and tried college, man, and got 3 Fs and a D my first semester. I got a D in psychology. I was like, man, this shit is not for me. I can't do this college shit. So yeah, just started hanging out with more and more friends because, you know, the family's pushing you to do the right thing and do the college thing, and you know, I'm rebelling, like not wanting to do that and hang out with friends and selling drugs, making money, living the fast life. Then the cops kind of got on my tail, right? So I was like, fuck. So that's when I moved to Dallas.
Okay. So cops get on your tail. You moved to Dallas. You're 19 at that point?
Yeah, 18, 19.
18, 19.
Yeah.
And then what does 18, 19 to 27 look like? Because college didn't work.
So basically, same thing, man. Moved to another city. I was still selling a ton of drugs. I was actually, you know, one of the largest steroid dealers in Oklahoma, and then I started taking over Dallas. I would go to Mexico, so I'd rent a car. I would fly to Mexico.
Wow.
Actually, I'd fly to San Antonio. I'd rent a car. I said this a couple times, I think, on podcasts, but
yeah.
I'd rent a car, drive across the border, pay a mule. I'd go to the same pharmacy. They knew me. I had a fucking list of all the shit that I needed. And yeah, I would just buy it all, pay a mule to walk it across the border. Then I'd get it in my car. They had 2 checkpoints. So that was the first checkpoint. And then the second checkpoint, I would drive across, but they would search me. So I'd have to take off the headliner and I would tape it all onto the roof of the car, all the bottles of steroids, right? The dogs can't smell steroids. So it wasn't an issue with the dogs. As long as they didn't see it, nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So then I put the headliner back on. Then I would drive like fucking 16 hours back from basically Laredo to Oklahoma.
Wow.
And I would stop in Dallas, drop off a bunch of shit there, go on to Oklahoma, you know, put it with all my distributors there. And yeah, that was basically what life looked like from 19 to the day I got locked up, 27. Also, I was, you know, acting crazy, clubbing, drinking, fighting, like just no purpose, lost, like completely lost. I had no direction in life. I know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
Right. I'd be in strip clubs all the time, be in nightclubs all the time. Wouldn't come home 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And just making money, living the fast life, living the dumb life.
Wow. You think this all kind of evolved from the attention that was voided in the home? Like, mom, dad, strife, stress, kind of, you know, BS between one another, and then, you know, seeing mom out there with other boyfriends?
Yeah, I mean, at least that's what therapists said. I've gone to counseling. When I first got with my fiance, she wanted to go to like couples therapy because obviously I'm a pretty fucked up individual, you know. I've had toxic relationships. I've had, you know, fucked up households, got into alcohol early. Then I went to prison for a long time. So seen a lot of wild shit, so I'm sure I have a ton of trauma, and she's like super understanding, and she's like, hey, let's just kind of go work on this stuff. So she's in it for the long haul, right? She's like, I want this to work. Let's kind of figure out what's the best. So yeah, that's kind of what the counselors say. I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
I'm always just working and not really thinking about that type of shit. Because everybody goes through everything, and what is that just going to give me an excuse? I really don't care what it was. I just, let me be a better person today and moving forward and continue to be the best person I can now. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah. I feel like the best therapy is always just internal reflection and then facing it and then just beating it up with action.
Exactly.
Getting better physically, mentally, spiritually, just growing in every aspect of your life.
And that's what I try to do each and every day, if it's not just through reading, through working out, and through just working. Self-development.
So, and what's crazy to me and blows my mind is like you'll see the deregulation of, the drugs like marijuana and different things like that. And when you really break it down on a very simple level, as long as the government gets a cut, like they don't care about the drug. They don't care about people dying or people, you know what I mean? They don't care about like some of these, they prescribe these kids, not Oxycontin, but Adderall, which is a methamphetamine.
God, I hate it.
You know what I mean? Like, so like you'll put a kid on methamphetamine, but a grown man can't get testosterone.
Yeah.
It's like their mind is working in reverse. And it's like, oh, we'll give someone a 10-year sentence over giving some man testosterone. So he has that'll help mental health, muscular development. You just add more value to society by being a more wholesome man. But you'll put a 5-year-old on meth.
Yeah, seriously. And I've seen the effects on some of my friends, and I'm just like, this is crazy, man. I actually dated a girl when I got out of prison that was taking Adderall. She was addicted to Adderall.
Bro.
And I was like, dude, you got to get rid of this shit. Like, this is all you think about and consume. And then she started hiding it from me.
Yeah.
And she would like keep it in her shoes. And then she was like snorting it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are you on? Like,
bro,
I had to get away from her, man. I was like, you're fucking too much.
It's literally meth. It's a methamphetamine.
Yeah, it's crazy. How you going to snort like a pill that's supposed to make you like
focus?
Bro.
Crazy. And it blows my mind. It's like, as long as Uncle Sam gets a cut, you can sell whatever. You can sell meth. As long as you kick back 50%. Like, the government's the biggest cartel in the world.
Yeah, man. People just need to fucking read some personal development books.
Literally.
That's about it.
So here's what I want to know. Both my parents did some time, and I always try to empathize and figure out what was it like when the judge, hits that thing and says, "Hey, you're gonna go do some time." I'm about to be 27, so like that. I can't imagine. Everybody thinks they got balls. I like to fight and MMA and stuff like that. But I'm like, dude, that's a different level, bro. So what was going through your mind when a judge hits the thing and says, "Hey, you're gonna go away"?
It was crazy, man. Had my whole family in the courtroom too. Like,
wow.
And I was not expecting them to say, Texas Department of Corrections, 10 years. I wasn't expecting that at all. It was supposed to be just like a normal court hearing to where it gets pushed off, because it had gotten pushed off for a year. I was stuck in county and I couldn't get out for a whole year.
So you were already serving time?
Yeah, I was already in county.
Wow.
They wouldn't let me out because the first time I got out on a bond. It was like $300,000 bond. It cost me like $30,000 to get out. I got out. I think I had like an ankle monitor for alcohol, a drug patch, a breathalyzer in the car, all kinds of shit. And then I had a clothing line back then actually geared towards MMA. It was called One Hit Quit.
Yeah.
And so there's a show called the Magic Trade Show, which is just a big clothing line convention in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I was good on parole with my parole officer, so I told her, or my probation officer at the time, told her, hey, I'm going to go out of town, go to Vegas, to go to the show to help my clothing line. And she was like, yeah, you should be able to go, no problem. Like, you've done great. And I was like, okay. Well, I didn't ever really check back in and get the pass, though, the official pass that I needed.
Yeah.
And so I went, bought my ticket, went out there. It was a great business, great for my business.
Yeah.
Networked, got a lot of good connections, met a new supplier, did some stuff like that. Flew back, went to see my probation officer again. She was like, hey, did you go out on that trip? I was like, yeah, I went on it. It was a great trip, blah, blah. She was like, damn, I applied for your pass, but they denied it. I was like, well, fuck, I'm back. I'm already here. Like, everything's good. She was like, well, okay, well, my boss wants to talk to you. So I went in and talked to him. He was like, did you go out of town? I said, yeah. He goes, we're revoking your bond. You can't go out of town. So they pulled my bond right then, and I got arrested that same day, one day after I got back. And from that day on, I was locked up for over 7 years.
And you were 26?
27.
And 27.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I wasn't prepared for anything. It was just like, wait, what? I just got back from Vegas. Here I am, locked up, boom, can't get out. I'm stuck in the fucking system, can't get out. for over 7 years. So basically, right now where you're at until you're 35 years old,
Crazy, bro.
you're stuck, locked up in penitentiary.
And how many people, what percent, if you had to roughly guess, turn that into an excuse opposed to turning it into the foundation of what you built your success upon?
Yeah, you know, and that also could have been me. Like, I was a pretty bad individual, you know, selling drugs, hanging out, treating people like shit, just completely lost in life, dude, with no direction, absolutely no direction, no purpose, no nothing. And I see a lot of people to this day like that. And it's like, where would I be if I didn't go to prison, you know?
Yeah.
I still might be doing stupid shit with no direction and be fucking 40 and be like, bro, what the fuck am I doing? I'm still just acting stupid, have no clue what's going on. So I always tell people, man, I'm actually glad that I went to prison because it set my ass down. And if I wasn't set down to read books, and I never would have read books, I never would have changed my life. Because I read so many personal development books. And it just enlightened me to like a different way of living, a different way of thinking. And that is, you know, what I can attest to why I'm so successful. Yeah. Right? So, and also, I didn't have any skills. Like, dude, I sold drugs fucking from basically 18 to the moment I got locked up. Yeah. So I had no skills to fall back on. Yeah. So I had to like be set down, and that's when I just devoured real estate. And I was just like, all right, my mind's made up. I'm doing real estate. There's no turning back. I don't give a fuck what happens to me. And I just devoured everything I could. And like, that's when I formed the game plan. And then I got out, man, and I fucking made it happen.
Let's take a step back. How did you even get booked? Like how they
books?
Yeah, like how did they like find you? In regard to like police, did they open an investigation? Did you get pulled over one night? Like how'd they start building a case?
Oh, so okay. So yeah. Like I was saying, I got hot in Tulsa, right? Okay. I had a lot of heat on me for the cops like were finding out who I was because I was flying in and out. I had all the cool cars, like I had fucking Navigator with spinning wheels on it. I had 7 Series BMWs with 22s on it. I had Escalade.
So should you have been like, I watched this show called Ozark. Should you have been washing the money better? Like,
yeah, I was just being stupid and flamboyant, you know. Yeah. But that's how I am now, right? I got the Senna, I got all the cars. Yeah. But now I'm not doing nothing illegal, so I don't give a fuck. But back then, I was the same person. I was just doing things illegal, so it was like I was an easy, you know, catch.
Easy target, yeah.
So easy target. So yeah, I got hot, moved to Dallas, still doing the same thing. Finally, Dallas, you know, started being like, who is this dude, you know, rolling around with all this shit, you know, flying, speeding, 4 a.m., like, what the fuck's he doing, you know? So they started looking into me, and then they caught me with some steroids and some cash in my car. I think I had like $30K. I was driving a Cadillac Escalade truck, and I had $30,000 in the back. They had like little compartments that lift up, that lock. I had $30,000 in one side, and I had like 10 balls of steroids in the other. Because I was actually going to loan one of my friends money so he could buy like some pounds of weed. Yeah. And normally I don't drive with both, but I was dropping off these bottles to this dude, and then I was going to head over to, it was like 45-minute drive to give him the money. So I did that. They pulled me over, arrested me. I got charged with intent to deliver.
Was it a statey or was it
It was all state. Yeah, everything was state. Intent to deliver. Okay. Whatever, controlled substance. And so I fought that from the world. Like I said, normally it's just pushed back. That thing got pushed back for like 4 years. Wow. And then I get put on 1 year probation. 3 years probation. That's what I signed for that charge. Yeah. A year into my probation, I was leaving a club and I got into a wreck and somebody died. And that's when I got charged with manslaughter. Wow. So that's how I got like all my time. Wow. So then that same night they arrested me, manslaughter. I bond out on the $30,000, $300,000 bond. And yeah, that's how it all started.
What do you think as you reflect on your life has been like the hardest thing that you've had to kind of like live with?
You know, what pisses me off the most is like, I didn't have any direction or knowledge or teaching of anything. Like, I wish somebody just would have taught me this real estate shit when I was 18. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of fucking hanging out with dumbasses and, you know, fucking my life off from basically 17, 18 to 27, that 10 years, and then having to do prison for another fucking 10 years, basically. That's 20 years of my life that I just like threw out the window, right? Yeah. If somebody would have guided me and taught me at 18 how to do this real estate shit, I mean, I would be fucking billionaire by now, right? Yeah. So that kind of is, when I think about it, like really pisses me off that that's how I thought. And back then, you know, it's not as easily accessible to go talk to a real estate investor. It's like, or a builder or whatever it is. Like this day and age, hey, Instagram, this dude's, oh shit, he offers coaching? Fuck, here, how much is it? Oh, 20K? Boom, 18 years old, learn the trade. Next thing you know, you're 35 and fucking rich as fuck, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that back then. You can't just go meet people. Like,
yeah, facts.
You just got to actually run into them and talk to them.
Yeah.
And then I'm selling drugs, so I'm not really talking to like business people. So, yeah.
You go away, you start reading. Did you start reading first, or did someone put you on a real estate? Like, was it books, personal development books, or was it real estate exposure first?
So I had never read a single book in my entire life.
Okay.
Until I went to the penitentiary. And even in the penitentiary, 2.5 years in, I didn't read a book. Like, I didn't care to read.
What was your first 2 years like then?
I was still, like, I've always been a hustler and always made a lot of money. Like, I've always had all the cool shit, always, for my entire life, since I've been, like, 16. So I was just hanging out with the people, like, you know, I was hanging out with all the white people because it's so super segregated in there, right?
Yeah.
So most of the
What do
white
they call
people,
like a car?
Huh?
Like a car, right? That's your car or something in prison?
Yeah, something like that. But it's like
See, are the
it's like
terms
wood
not
pi-
like
yeah,
that?
it's different in different states.
Okay.
But it's called the woods and the wood pile and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that. But anyway, so you know, I'm hanging out with them, and so you know, what do they do? We're all criminals. We're all doing fucked up shit. You know,
Yeah.
I was selling steroids. This guy's stealing motorcycles. This guy's fucking stealing copper out of fucking houses. This guy's doing meth and just fucking a crackhead. You know, most of the white people, that's like what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's just dumbasses. So
Were you around the key holder? Is that what they call them? Like the
yeah, I mean,
the
I
leader?
was. I rolled solo. I didn't get too much into the gangs and any of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that most of them were really pussies, honestly, and it was
Yeah.
like they were just followers. And you know, some of the speakers, the key holders, were cool, but I was respected by everybody because I was super athletic. I was already muscled up. I already had a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, I already was down to fight whoever. So, and I was really good at all the sports. So, like, I can play basketball with all the blacks. I can play handball with all the Mexicans. I play volleyball with all the whites. You know, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was respected by everybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the first 2 years in there, I'm talking to everybody, and like I would come up with business plans on like, all right, if I get out of here, I'm gonna fucking like let's steal a bunch of motorcycles. I can swap the frames. I can get, you know, warehouses. I had a whole business plan of how I'll make millions and millions of dollars on how to do this.
Yeah.
And then I was at a unit called Mineral Wells, really bad, one of the worst Texas prisons. I mean, they would fucking fuck guards off. They would throw inmates off the third row. Like, it was bad. They would like shit and piss in buckets, and like if a guard would come up the steps, they would fucking throw it on them. They'd throw boiling shit on them. Like, it was wild, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a wide open, like way too many inmates compared to like the guards. There's like 2 guards for like fucking this huge dorm.
Yeah.
And there's no cells. It's like actually like mini, like just Section 8 apartments, basically what it reminded me of, with a big ass fence around it. And then they got guards, and the guards were all crooked anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got put on lockdown because it's always some bullshit going on at that unit.
Yeah.
But we got put on lockdown for like fucking, I don't even know, a month, 2 months. It was crazy long. But for some reason, before they put us on lockdown, we knew we were going on lockdown. So they let us go to the library. And that was when, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just went to the library. I was like, fuck, I better get a book because I know we're about to be put on lockdown. And sure enough, like I don't read, you know, the fake shit. You know, I like the nonfiction. So
yeah.
I went to the nonfiction, personal development, but you know, the system's built to fucking hold you down. So obviously your selection's like nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this book called Unlimited Power or Awaken the Giant by Tony Robbins. One of them. I can't remember which one I read first, but whichever one that was, I got it. And I fucking did everything in that book, and that's the book that changed my life. That's the one that just opened my brain up and enlightened me on a whole nother way to live, a whole nother way to think about things. And like, I was just sitting there in my fucking cell, and it's just, I didn't have shit to do. So I was just consumed it, and it just washed over me, man. And I was a whole new person after that.
Is that still your favorite book when you like think back?
I've read a fucking shitload. I mean, from that point, I was locked up another 5 years. So like that just got me like consuming self-development. I read a shitload of Tony Robbins. My favorite author is Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Read every single book of him. I like the financial literacy type books.
Yeah.
I like business stuff.
Because once you really start reading, you start realizing the personal development's more of like the mindset shift, but like true application is in knowledge acquisition.
Yeah, and I love reading these books because people don't know, man. The keys are in these books.
Literally.
Like, I mean, it fucking's crazy, like the knowledge that you can get just reading one book. And what sucks is you do have to read a bunch of bullshit books to get to that one book, right? Because you can't just go pick up a book and you read it and you're like, all right, this one sucks. But if you do get that one book that's just like, holy shit, this is a life-changing book. And then you go down this rabbit hole of fucking getting all these other books. And so anyway, I chose real estate development as my path. And I consumed for 5 years fucking real estate books and business books.
Yeah. You think that was inspired from starting to tap into Kiyosaki and...
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like I didn't know what the fuck, you know, the quadrants were or the assets or liabilities. I didn't know none of that shit.
Yeah.
I was like... So when I'm reading it, I'm just like, oh shit, this is so cool. You know, I can't wait to get out. I'm gonna be way more smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I picked up reading when I was fucking like 10.
Yeah, literally. So you get out. What's your first year look like out?
So I finally make parole, man. It was I got 6 set-offs. So I was basically eligible for parole at 15 months on a 10-year sentence because it's not aggravated. So I came up for parole 6 times. And they set me off every single time. They denied me. Said, nope, come back next year.
Is parole like you get to get another trial?
So parole is like you get out of prison. Like you have a prison sentence.
Yeah.
And if you get out, you're on parole for until your prison sentence. So you got to serve time. And then you get out on parole to serve the rest of your time. Then they're like, hey, you can go out, but you have all these stipulations. You got to have a job, ankle monitor, whatever the fuck it is.
Is that like a halfway house? I remember my dad doing a halfway house.
No, halfway house is like basically... When you get out of prison, you can go to a halfway house maybe for like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's usually if they don't have somewhere to go, or it could be a stipulation of their parole. Like, hey, you got to go stay in a halfway house. Then you can come out and go wherever you want. But so yeah, I get out. Where were we at? What was I talking about?
So you get out and what your first year looks like. So they put you on parole. You're up for 6 times.
Yeah. So yeah, I came up 6 times, got set off every time, finally made parole, get out. You know, I was gone like over 7 years. I'm like, finally get out. I'm like, fuck, I finally made it, right? Still didn't know what I was going to do as far as like, I mean, I have it all in my brain. I got all this book knowledge. I'm ready to do real estate, but, well, I don't have no money.
Yeah.
I still don't really know what the fuck I'm about to do. But I'm just glad I'm out, right? So I'm just kind of getting acclimated back out to the world. I went and stayed with my mom, lived in her guest bedroom for probably like 3 months. Stipulation of parole was to get a job, so... My buddy gave me a job doing logistics, and you know, and I traded it like, you know, a respectable career. Like I was there at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., fucking doing phone calls, answering, doing what I was supposed to be doing. Made like $80K working with him. My first year out of prison, which is like phenomenal.
Selling the truckloads.
Yeah, like doing truckloads, just logistics type shit. And then in the meantime, I was still like, so now I'm out. I don't just have these real estate books. Now I have fucking YouTube, podcasts, all kinds of shit, internet. So now, and I can go get any books I want. So I'm fucking like in the bookstore. I'm consuming everything. Like when I'm not working, I'm consuming like more real estate, trying to figure out how I can get into the game, right? And if you would have talked to me back then when I got out of prison, like all I talked about was fucking real estate. Like that's all I wanted to do. Everybody knew like this motherfucker's going to get into real estate. And sure enough, man, I finally, one of my friends like was like, man, yeah, I can help you get into it. You know, there's actually a flip available. I've already flipped 2 homes on that street. This is from my buddy. He was like, I'm not going to get this one. If you want it, you can, you know, take this one. I was like, yeah, I fucking want it. Let's do it. So then, you know, I didn't have no money. So then I kind of hit up friends and family. I was like, hey, I need $200,000 to get this, or we need to leverage it with hard money. I didn't really know much how hard money worked at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, ended up getting it from friends and family. They believed in me because they could tell I was a changed person, you know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something successful, a positive career, right? I didn't want to fall back into the drugs. So yeah, man, got that first flip right out of prison, probably like 2-3 months, flipped it. My buddy kind of held my hand throughout the whole process and sold it, made $53,000, paid back my friends and family with a percentage, and then I netted $53,000 in my pocket.
Wow.
So that was like proof of concept. All right, it's proven. So what do you do when you make, you know, a big chunk of money? Like $53,000, that's a lot of money, probably more than I ever made in one single transaction. You know? So what do? Fucking do it again. That's how my brain thinks. Let's do it again, and then let's do it 100 more times,
Yeah,
you know, as fast as we can. So that's what I did. So then that second one, I bought another flip, and that one is actually the one that turned into new construction and really gave me the outlook of comparing it to the flip that I just did and the new construction that I just did. And, you know, the different complexities of each, you know, new construction I felt was a lot more sexy, a lot easier, a lot less headaches, and fucking way more profits. So then once I figured that one out, sold it, ended up buying next one, ended up building 3 duplexes. I made $500,000 on these right here. And I was out of prison like a year. So from there, I was hooked, man. I was like, all right, here, you know, we got money. And I still didn't spend a penny because I just wanted to be like this crazy multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So I just kept dumping the money back into fucking buying more land. Next thing you know, I got into single family, $1 million homes. And yeah, man, I just kept doing that over the years. And here we are 6 years later.
And so it went from flipping to construction.
Flipping to building new construction.
Building new construction. So here's the disconnect for me and probably I would hope a lot of the audience, not just me, but who cares? Flipping makes sense to me. When I'm trying to wrap my mind around when it comes to profit margin of building new construction, are you buying the plot of land and then pitching, you know, you pitch some multimillionaire, hey, I've got this plot of land, we could build this home for you, and then you hire an architect and you know, subcontractors. What does it look like?
Okay, so in my world, there's called custom homes and it's called spec homes. Custom homes is basically you're building for a client. An end user is already there, like you're building for them. A spec home is there's no end user. You are going out, looking at the land, running the numbers, figuring out, hey, I might be able to sell it for this if I finish it, right? I buy the land, I build it. I might be in it for this. I might make this much, and I might sell it for this, right? Based off the data. That's called a speculative home.
Yeah.
So that's all I do. I build spec homes.
Spec homes.
That's it. I don't deal with clients. I don't build for people. I only build for myself, spec homes. I put them on the market, and I sell them.
Okay.
So obviously, we got to underwrite the deal up front. You know, underwriting is just basically running the numbers, okay? So we're going to underwrite it up front, making sure that the land costs plus the build costs plus any carry costs or closing commissions to any realtors, make sure you have all your expenses plus your land, and then make sure there's profit there to sell it, right?
Okay. So
you run all those numbers on all these fucking pieces of land, old homes, whatever it is in your area. And yeah, that's why I did a ton. I was just underwriting deals. I would look at, you know, and I just figured out the system that worked. And then it was easy. Just plug the system in, and then I could just fucking underwrite deals really fast. And sure enough, man, the spec homes would start making me six figures. And then at that point, man, I just scaled up with hard money lenders.
Okay.
So the hard money lenders wouldn't quite loan to me at first. So I had to get a partner.
Are those the MCA guys?
What are those MCA?
Isn't it merchant cash advance? Is that like hard money lending?
No, so hard money lenders are basically, so if you go to build a home, you can go to Chase Bank, Bank of America, all the traditional lenders, and be like, hey, I want to build a home. And they're like, okay, we'll give you, you know, this much for 7%, but we need your tax returns, we need credit score, financial statements, you know, everything. Yeah. Right. Well, hard money lenders, they'll charge you 10 to 12%, but it's no docs. You don't have to turn in any docs. You got to remember, I was fresh out of prison. I didn't have nothing.
Nothing.
I don't have shit. Like,
that's another thing that blows my mind, because you go to prison, they don't protect your credit or anything. It just all goes to hell.
Yeah, and it did. Yeah, it went to hell. Didn't have any. I was gone so long, everything falls off after 7 years. Yeah. So I didn't have nothing on there. Yeah. Like, if there was anything, it fell off already, right? Yeah. So I had to rebuild my credit. I had to go get a secured credit card for like $200-300. Like, and I was working logistics off my paycheck. I went to like, here's $300, and I got like I got a fucking, what was it called? Open Sky. It's called Open Sky Secured Credit Score. I still have it to this day. It's got $600 now. I started with like $200 or $300, and they like doubled it or something. Yeah. And now I got a Black American Express too. So I got this fucking $600 Open Sky secured credit card, and then I got this fucking Black American Express, like unlimited. You ever made content with that? I need to. Bro, that would be hard. Yeah, I need to make content with that. So yeah, man, I rebuilt it, and then I learned hard money, and then I learned how all that. And back then, man, hard money lenders were loaning 10% on land, like as your down payment. That's it. So like I'm looking for $250,000 pieces of dirt. I can build the home for like $500K construction costs and sell it for like 1 to 1.2 million.
Yeah.
So you can make like 200,000-300,000 on these deals.
Do you find the buyer?
So you're the builder, you're the developer.
Yeah.
You buy it, you build it, you give it to the realtor.
Okay.
The realtor finds the buyers, negotiates, does everything.
And you make the money when the realtor closes the deal.
Yep, the realtor's going to sell it. Obviously, you're the boss. They're going to be like, "Hey, we got to offer at $1,050,000. It was listed at 1.1.
Yeah.
You tell the realtor, lock it down. We'll
Yeah.
sell it. She sells it. She gets paid her commission. You take the profits.
Was there a update legally in regard to the realtor like commission percentage? Was that over the last year or two, right?
Yeah, there was some big thing going on, but remember, I'm not a realtor. I'm a developer. I don't really.
I didn't know, but do you pay the realtor their commission?
It's all negotiable.
Okay.
But yeah, if they're listing your home,
Yes.
you have to pay them listing. So there's two sides of the transactions. They have the buyer's agent and the listing agent.
Okay.
So when you're buying a piece of land to build on, you have your buyer's agent, and then the listing is the one who's going to pay her commission.
Yeah.
Right. So say I go buy $1 million piece of dirt, I don't pay their commission. The seller's going to pay it.
Yeah.
All right. So then when I build the home, I sell it. Now I'm going to pay
Yeah.
the buyer. So then that's how it normally works. The seller pays all the commissions.
But so what I'm getting at is your big cash comes from the actual sale,
Yeah.
right? That's where like the big payday comes
Yeah.
from.
There's no cash flow in this game. Like it's all
Yeah.
build, sell, get a huge chunk of money.
You ever keep some of these luxury homes for like your own portfolio?
I mean, I kept my personal house. I built my personal.
Yeah. I just didn't know like if there was like a long-term play of like.
I was out of prison like 2 years. I built me this big ass, badass, super modern, contemporary modern home. I wasn't with my fiance yet, so it's like super bachelory. Like everything overlooks the pool. It's indoor, outdoor living. We have huge sliding doors.
Yeah.
You got the hot tub where you can see it from like the master bed, and
That's hard, bro.
3-car garage with like huge storage area, and then all this parking outside that's gated. And so yeah, it was definitely big bachelor pad.
Yeah. That's super hard.
Then I met her, and she kind of made it more of a home.
Feminize it a little bit.
But now I'm building another personal home. Me and her.
For
And
Miami?
No, this one's actually in Dallas too. It's 3 stories. It's got a 10-car underground parking garage.
Hard.
Yeah, it's got a mother-in-law suite in the back. It's going to be like a Mediterranean, organic, modern home.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a really good design eye. So I used to design all my homes, and I'm into like the Miami vibe, like the contemporary modern stuff.
Yeah.
But she's into like the Mediterranean, like super earthy tones, neutral colors.
Yeah.
Like homey feel, right? Like the Kim K style, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she kind of took over all the designs from now.
Like
my most probably recent 3 homes plus moving forward. She's designing probably like 6 right now for me.
And what about the rental properties? What's the target market with those?
Yeah, so I had like 90 rental properties. I actually taught her the game, and she ran up like 30 super quick. I've been selling mine off now because I fucking hate them. They're a pain in my ass. If you're looking to get into real estate and you think rentals is the way, don't fucking do it. I'm telling you right now. I hate it, especially low income, affordable homes. They're the worst. Super headache, man. You got to track down the money. You got to hunt down the money. Any fucking tree falls on it, any maintenance, anything, your cash flow is out the window. Trust me, the condensers are going to get stolen. Copper's going to get stolen. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a leak. It's going to flood the whole floors. All these items have happened to me probably in the past like 3 weeks, honestly. And that constantly happened to me. Rentals suck, at least the cheap ones, the affordable homes.
I thought the affordable ones, is there Section 8 available or?
Yeah, you can do Section 8, but you still have to deal with these shitty tenants.
Yeah.
Right? You have the shitty tenants, and then the Section 8 in Dallas will like just cover a percentage, and then you got to go track the money down from the tenant.
Wow.
And you're never going to get that money. Like they're just a piece of shit. So, and you still have the maintenance issues. You still have the area that they're in, right? Yeah. That's what's fucked up. You got the crackheads in the area, and they're just like stealing condensers, and they'll go pawn that shit for $20 and it just cost me $3K. Or they'll break in and steal all the copper for like $40, and it cost me $2K to rewire the home plus fix the sheetrock. So they don't care. They're crackheads. Like they're just looking for their next hit, you know?
Yeah, facts.
So it's more of the area than actual tenant.
Yeah.
That's what makes them shitty.
Yeah. When you, what's your favorite car you have?
Man, we got a lot of cars, man. Well, I'm in Miami. We got the McLaren Senna out here.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I haven't been here in like a month. I've been traveling. I went to Europe, Monaco, France, Paris, fucking Saint-Tropez.
Yeah.
All that shit, man. Then that's a whole nother living over there.
All over the place, bro.
Yeah.
In Mexico.
So I haven't been here like a month. I get here and the fucking car doesn't even start. It's dead. The battery's dead. It's covered in dust and like, yeah, it's bad. But went and cleaned it up. Everything works good. It's sitting outside. It's probably my favorite car right now. You know, it's a hyper car, 7-figure car, super fast.
Bro, I won't pay attention to cars unless, and it's like, I don't got a crazy car, but like,
Yeah.
I don't pay attention. Like, it's like in Miami, everybody like getting a Huracan is what? You don't even come up with 30, 40 bands,
Yeah.
pay 3-4 bands a month. But you see an SVJ, you see the Senna, and you're like, all right, this motherfucker had to come up with probably 5. They're not going to finance
exactly.
$1 million. You know what I mean?
No.
You can finance half of it maybe if someone's nice, but like,
Yeah.
you coming up with $500,000, like that's a different level of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's like,
exactly.
all right.
It kind of solidifies you as like.
It definitely solidifies
you're
it.
not-
Because even if
you're not
someone's a
the normal.
scammer and they got an SVJ, they're a really good scammer. I'll respect them. Like you,
They're doing something
yeah,
right.
like I'll respect it, bro. You got cash coming in.
Yeah,
But-
we're not scamming nobody, man. I make
No,
a
not
lot
at
of
all.
money doing real estate development.
And that's another thing I wanted to capitalize on while we're talking about cars, because I've been in the sales space since I was 18, is I blew a lot of money with bad partnerships, and I worked in the captive side of insurance space, but you'll see guys, just like the course guys, that all they do is they'll get their sales bag, they'll get their course bag, reinvest it into a whip, and just flex lifestyle, and then flip the course more and more. The thing when I was studying you, I was like, oh no, this dude doesn't make his money from the course. He makes his money from his legitimate skill that he built, which is a real estate portfolio, and then teaches on that. There's nothing else. It's not like you're trying to teach people some bullshit that you didn't do.
Exactly, which is fucking so common out here in Miami. And that's what I hate. It's like, what is your actual business? Like, how did you make your money to begin with? Or did you even have money before you started selling something? And who says that you're successful? Like, because you have a fucking Huracan? Like, that's easy to get. Like, drug dealers have that shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's not success. Like, if you study me and you go back to my, early YouTubes or early Instagram posts, you'll find out that I was successful way before coaching ever came about.
Yeah.
I had already the big ass house, the fucking cars, the watches, the Richard Mille jewelry. I had all of it prior to even selling anything online.
Yeah.
And the only reason the online even came about was organically. It came about because people kept fucking asking me, like, dude, how? You were just in prison. Like, even my friends, my family, like, how did you do it? Like, what the fuck? So I knew that there was a demand there. So people kept asking me, sending me texts on DMs.
And you can't afford to just give out all that sauce for free. Like at that point, like the money that you're making per hour, when you break it down, like you start to really lose a lot of money by helping all these people for free.
And I was just like, it was like December 2023. I told my girl, I was like, man, I'm gonna have a mastermind, because these masterminds are like popping up. I was like, I want to host one, because I knew the demand was there, because people kept asking me, like, what the fuck do you do? How do you do it? You were just in prison. I'm your old, I watched your whole journey. Like, what the fuck? So I told my girl, I was like, man, let's host a mastermind. I want to host one and just, figure out. I want to teach all these people that are asking me. I told her if I sold 10 tickets, it'd be a success. Sure enough, I didn't even know how to make a Stripe listing. I went to breakfast with one of my buddies, like, dude, how do I put this Stripe link on my Instagram story? And he was like, you just do it like this. I paid for his breakfast. I was like, all right, cool, thanks. I posted it. I sold like 40 tickets, like the same day for $1,500, right? So that's like $60K I just made.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you're from, but $60K to me is a lot of money. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's like, fuck, that's life-changing money in one day.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. I guess it's worked. You got to think, I didn't even have a curriculum ready. Yeah. Like, I was just testing this shit out, and I was like, I want to do it, but I didn't even know where am I going to host it? What am I going to teach? How am I going to teach it? So it just came organically, and then it was easy for me because I've been doing it. It's a true fucking story.
Yeah.
I got out of prison. This is what I did, and this is where I'm at. I mean, all I got to do is talk about what I did.
Yeah.
So it fucking was simple for me. So I don't know how these scammers are doing it, because they got to chat GPT their fucking story.
Bro, yeah, kudos to them. And for me, I respect cash. You legally, illegally, if you're getting it and you whatever, like, I'll respect the cash. One thing I want to try to educate my young sales audience on, from mistakes that I made and from guys that got it, that we kind of, aspire to look like and try to be like, is the kids out there right now that are getting into sales or selling these courses, and they're blowing all the bread on just liabilities. That's the cars, that's the watches, without having
Keeping up
the
with the
real
Joneses.
estate, trying to keep up with the Joneses, because they see some kid with a Huracan and he's selling pest control and insurance, and then you go to ask these kids, what do you own? You know what I mean? Like, what do you own? It's like, oh, I just have my car. It's like, that's a
I probably had like
depreciating asset.
10 or 20 rental homes.
Yeah.
And a pipeline of new construction before I even bought my McLaren. And the
That's what
McLaren
they
is like
need
a
to hear.
570.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't, for 2.5 years, like I had fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, like $600,000-700,000 in my bank account.
Before you even got
Before
a
I even
McLaren
bought
570.
McLaren. And the only reason I bought the McLaren, like, was because my buddy that I was hanging out with went and bought a yellow Lamborghini. And I was like, bro, you just gonna drive around by yourself? Like, that ain't no fun. So the next week I went and bought the McLaren.
Yeah.
But I didn't have watches. I didn't even have clothes. I was still shopping at Ross and had like $600,000-700,000 in my bank account because I was just shopping for land. I didn't care. Like, I just sat down for 7.5 years. I didn't care to sacrifice another like fucking 3, 4, another 7. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like focused, laser focused. Like, I want to be multimillionaire from this shit.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what I did, man. And then, 2.5 years, I looked up, had my head down this whole time. I looked up and then I'm like, man, I got a lot of shit in the pipeline. I own a bunch of rental homes. I own tattoo shops. I'm like, fuck. Fuck it. I can spend some money now, if I want.
You're a real hustler. Love tattoos, so you buy the tattoo shop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually about to go get my son's name on the side of my head here in Miami. And I own 2 tattoo shops. I'm like, fuck, I probably shouldn't even do this. I should just wait and get back to Dallas and just do it. But
that's hard.
Yeah, it's all good.
Dude, man, that's exactly what, I want these guys to hear and anybody that's tuning in, because it's like, I wish if I would have known that at 21, 22 years old when money started to roll in pretty good, I feel like I would be a lot further along. You know what I mean? I feel like, but at the same time, simultaneously, I interview a guy like you that was sitting in front of a judge at 27, same age as me, basically. And I'm like, man, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to disrespect the game or disrespect someone like yourself. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, bro,
you're definitely on the right path, man.
The time is everything. Because usually when you get around, guys that have done some more and are a little further in life, the money they don't even care about. It's a byproduct of the life that you've built. It's the time that you go back and be like, you'd pay all the money to go back and be 27 again and know what you have now and not go away. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then you'd be 10 times further ahead. What's the next 5 years look like? We were talking about a jet prior, and a lot of people don't realize, like, getting a jet isn't like, that's the 1% of the 1%, but it's the cost of the jet annually. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, so if anybody follows me, they know I love the yachts, man. So definitely you're going to see the yacht in the near future. But right now, man, like I said, I've been traveling. I bought the Senna. I got a bunch of cars. I got fucking all these rental homes. I got a lot of expenses. I just want to get rid of all the rental homes. The cars are cool. I don't know. I just want to like focus and just stay somewhere for a couple months. Yeah, I'm tired of traveling. Yeah. So I probably won't buy anything for the next couple months, but definitely jet and yacht. I just hired a CPA in-house, accountant. Yeah. So I'm tired of my CPA. Like, I'm always looking in the rearview mirror, like trying to catch up with stuff, and I'm not really having any tax strategy. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get one in-house to where I can look through the front windshield and know what the fuck's coming up. So yeah, I'm sure, we're making a lot of money. We got a ton of shit in the pipeline. Got $50 million developments in the pipeline right now. So I'm sure I'm going to have to probably get a yacht and a jet this year. Yeah. So, but we're going to let him advise me. And
have you thought of names? Are they going to be baby blue? It seems like you love this blue color.
I'm going to have to wrap it Tiffany blue.
Yeah, like this Tiffany blue
yacht cruise by, bro. On its way to Kiki's, you're going to know it's me.
That's a statement right there. Marketing-wise, I'm seeing ads pop up for you now. And dude, like some shit like that, that's sometimes better than the advertisement dollar itself. Yeah. Is that flash. Once you've got the passive income, you've got the assets, I can start to see where instead of spending the money on ads, that like a Tiffany blue yacht, I'm sitting here thinking like, bro, the whole world is talking about that. Jet. Either one.
And then, I got builds here in Miami and I got a bunch of builds in Dallas. So, over the next 5 years, just build that up by 5x, 10x what I'm doing now. Yeah. And shit, it's going to be ridiculous, man.
That's going to be sick.
And then just fly back and forth and just manage all my shit, manage my team. Yeah. Stuff like that.
As we...
Yeah, and then also I'm be raising a fund. I got a lot of people that have been interested in not so much like wanting to jump into the mentorship to learn how to build. Yeah. But they want to invest into the builds. Yeah. So that's kind of the next step, working on that, probably have that
almost like
out.
Fractional, where it's like, hey, bro, I can't put 100,000 into, like...
Yeah, well, they just don't have the time. Whatever it is, they're making money doing oil or sales or insurance, whatever it is. And they're like, bro, I make a lot of money doing this. Why am I going to try to learn development? But I have money just sitting here. Like, I'm down to invest into this for a good return. So that's
what's the qualified investors? Are like an accredited investor?
Okay. Yeah. Well, some of them will be accredited. Some are non-accredited.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
When you're accredited, what does that mean? You have a certain amount liquid, or
I think you have to be like making $200,000 for the past 2 or 3 years, or be a net worth of $1 million and above.
I feel like the homeless in Miami are doing that.
Yeah. And it's also like self-accreditation. You're the one filling out the paperwork saying yes on certain funds. Other funds, you got to go to a third party, and then they'll accredit you.
Yeah.
Based on your income or tax returns or whatever it is.
Sweet.
So yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I got a lot of good shit in the future just to increase my developments, man. Provide as much value as my students and change as much people's lives as I can, because like I said, you know, I come from fucking drug dealer past, penitentiary bullshit. If I can just steer one person away from that same bullshit path that I was on and create them into this crazy multi-millionaire, man, I'll be fucking so thankful for that and happy. And then, create the fund and continue just to grow and grow.
Man, this has been terrific. As we wrap up here, a couple things on my mind. I always ask everybody, some people it's 50-50. They don't watch any TV, or they've never watched any TV. That might be you. Do you have a favorite movie?
I definitely like the business type movies, like Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. It's probably my favorite. But yeah, I don't really watch TV. Yeah. I honestly don't even know how to turn TV on.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know what remotes go to what.
Yeah.
If anybody knows me, they know. They're like, fuck, don't ask him. He has no idea.
The next thing is food. I feel like everybody, when you're making money, you got to like food a little bit, man.
Yeah.
What's the favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant's always going to be steakhouses.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Miami steakhouse?
I like Poppy Steakhouse. And then in Dallas, man, this place called Evelyn just opened up.
Yeah.
So it's normally Albernays Steakhouse, but now Evelyn just opened up and they're fucking killing their steak. It's like a peppercorns.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Mentor. Is there someone you've got in your life that mentors you, that you're like, man, that guy's got $1 billion, a couple billion?
Yeah, so I definitely,
you don't got a name drop.
Oh, the people in the space that I like would definitely be the big real estate guys, like a Donald Trump and a Grant Cardone.
Yeah, hardcore. I think that's pretty much it, man. This was super awesome. Thank you for the information, guys.
Yeah,
if
man.
You watch this, that was a lot of sauce for free.
Yeah.
Right. So please don't take it for granted. Sometimes the most expensive sauce is the free sauce.
Yeah, man. I put out YouTubes like 2-3 times a week. So it's Eric Epic 23 on YouTube. Also, Instagram is the same handle, Eric Epic 23. We put out a lot of free reels, free YouTubes. We try to provide as much value as we can. So
are there going to be any masterminds coming up?
Yeah, we're going to have a Miami mastermind and a Dallas mastermind. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot, so probably chill all summer. I'm sure they'll be popping up in August, September, both areas. So be on the lookout for that. I'll put it on my story on Instagram.
Sweet. Let's go. Thank you so much for your time, Eric.
Yep. Appreciate you.
My dog.
Thanks for having me.